Well, a huge welcome, everybody, to our educational seminar. And this one is being held only internally for a reason. So I just wanted to take everyone through like the disclaimer and how this seminar is strictly for educational purposes only. And the reason why is because the topic that we are talking about, which is peptides, most of them are restricted or illegal to possess without medical authority in Australia, and even through medical authority, they're not legally allowed to allocate a lot of the grade 1 peptides, which we'll take you to. So self-prescribing or purchasing peptides via black market is also a breach of Australian law. So this presentation is definitely not medical advice. And it's definitely not about us encouraging you to go and search for peptides, buy peptides. If you come to us and say, Vanessa, where can I buy these? Alex, where can I buy these? T, where can I buy these? We can't help you. So legally, like we're not allowed to. And yeah, unfortunately, that's just where we are at with Australia. So I'm going to let Dan take it from here as we get into it. Let me just share my screen.
Yeah, pull the slides up.
All right. Now, can I just have a thumbs up that from the people who have their cameras on that they can see the screen?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, beautiful. Alex, can you give me a thumbs up? You can see we're recording, yeah?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
I don't know how to do this thumbs up, but yes.
I just meant like that.
All good.
Sorry, you can tell and leave about their computer skills. That's okay. All right. Next.
All right. So that's you went through the disclaimer. Yeah. So so what are peptides? So peptides are like, well, first of all, everyone knows about proteins. We eat protein. People are aware of proteins. So peptides are just a chain of amino acids which form proteins. So all of these different peptides that you could have heard of, and we'll go through them in this seminar. They're just they're a recipe of amino acids stuck together, and then there's your peptide. You've got peptides that are 3 amino acids long. Something like glutathione is only 3 amino acids long. And then you've got peptides that are something like growth hormone is 191 amino acids long. So it's much longer. So for example, for instance, something like glutathione, which is your body's main intracellular antioxidant, it comprises of the amino acids glutamine, cysteine, and glycine. Right, so you stick those 3 together, and you have glutathione. Right, the thing is, but individually, so if you have any of those peptides individually, they don't have a whole lot of function. When you stick them together, then you have glutathione. That's just an example, and there's obviously a whole catalog out there of peptides. That was just one example. And really, like because I got the pharmacology background, it's from a manufacturing point of view, like how they do this stuff. You just need to understand the peptide you're interested in, know its recipe of amino acids, you plug it into the machine creates it, and there you've got your peptide. And one more thing with that, a lot of these peptides are not foreign to the body. So we produce a lot of these peptides endogenously, and then things like BPC, TB500, KPV, MOTS-C, growth hormone, we actually produce a lot of these internally, naturally, and then people obviously take them externally to get enhanced benefits. So, and then the way I look at it, because it's very, very, very hot topic at the moment, these peptides, is the way I view it and the way I feel people should view it, is right tool for the right job. So a lot of the time I get, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? Should I consider this? Should I look into this? Whatever. It's not just try it or whatever for the sake of it. you understand what it can do. Do you lack that area, or do you need improvement in that area with what this might provide? Utilize it. If you do, utilize it. If you don't. A lot of people just like, oh, just because everyone else is doing it, I want to try it. But it might not serve you. It might not have much merit, and in some cases, it could do more harm than good. So, one more thing too with these peptides that people like don't realize, there's not a whole lot of human data and human research on these peptides. So, sometimes I get like, oh, I'm pregnant. Is it safe for me? Or like, I've just had my child. Is it safe for me? Like, there's no way I could answer that, or anyone can answer that. They haven't been studied for long enough, and especially in humans, there is quite a fair amount of animal studies, but definitely not enough human studies. It's starting to pick up a little bit more funding for human studies because of how popular they're becoming. But there's no, like, even this morning, someone said, oh, I'm on nerve blockers. Is it safe for me to take peptides? And I'm like, I can't answer that. Like, I can give a suggestion, an opinion, like a thought, but there's no way you could accurately answer that. No one can. They just haven't been around for long enough. So, yeah, that's kind of the cusp of what peptides are, and how they integrated. And even we'll go through all of these peptides individually, but it's an interesting one because I think there's a question: why have they picked up a lot of traction lately or popularity lately? I actually don't even know if I don't think there's a definitive answer for that, but that is a very interesting topic because they've been around since the mid 2000s. So these peptides have all been around since the mid 2000s. So why now, 2026, 2025, are they super popular? I actually don't know why it took 20 years to pick up traction, but yeah, they're the hot topic at the moment. It's pretty wild. So, so Vanessa, do we go through the peptides now, the individual ones?
Yeah, I think what people want to understand, like, especially like a lot of questions that Alex and I have gotten is understanding like the difference. Like, people are just throwing out, oh, should I be looking at this peptide? My PT told me to take GHK or BBC, and I'm like,
BBC.
BBC, and I'm like, your PT? Oh, radio. Okay, no problems. Good luck with that, Sally. Like, no. And the ladies know how I feel. Everyone knows how I feel about this. We do not put anything in our bodies from a supplementation perspective or anything else unless the blood work supports it, number one. And number two, like, if we can't purchase it safely, so if it's not TGA regulated, we're not trusting where we're buying this from. But the two big topics here are definitely like the grade 1 and difference between the grade 1 peptides and grade 2 peptides, like understanding the simplicity of the different grades and what they're often here to serve or marketed towards is probably the next big one in this breakdown, Dan, if possible.
Okay. Yeah. So if you got there, like you got the BPC, the TB500, they're the main, I guess, they're the main healing, anti-inflammatory sort of peptides. A lot of like, they've got probably millions of anecdotal positive feedback on those two. Again, not a whole lot of human studies. There are starting to do more human studies on these just because of how much success they are having with individuals. And again, both of these you do improve. You do secrete endogenously, so they're not foreign peptides to the body at all. You're externally adding more than you would naturally produce. But for example, you produce a lot of the BPC 157 within your stomach. So, digestion, your stomach is very acidic, right? And you actually produce a lot of BPC within the stomach naturally to help heal the lining of the stomach from such an acidic environment. They've also, even with the BPC TB500, their main mechanism of action, why they're super popular, is they can help promote angiogenesis. So what that means is they'll increase blood flow to areas of need / injured areas, which is where you want blood flow to go, to injured areas, deliver nutrients, and it can help direct blood flow away from areas that aren't needed so much. So that's one benefit, because a lot of the time injured areas don't organically get a whole lot of blood flow naturally. So these peptides can help promote blood flow to those injured areas. And then a little, not disclaimer, but then someone could say, well, for this is just an example, in a cancerous environment, is there a potential for these peptides to promote increased blood flow to like cancer cells, which would obviously be a really big problem. And they've found, but again, in animal studies, they're not human studies because there's not enough human studies on this stuff. These peptides, especially the BPC TB500, very, very, very smart at actually directing blood flow away from cancerous tissue and again to areas of need / injuries. You've got an injured wrist, an injured ankle, things like that. Help promote blood flow there, can help with the healing and the recovery process. So, and like you can't like, again, there's not human data on it, not enough, but yes, I can't deny, you cannot deny worldwide there are millions of positive success stories with these two sort of peptides. So it's interesting because you've got those two that work really well for a lot of people, but yes, are technically still banned and on that side of the fence. And it's you don't want to see people injured on the sidelines, not being able to participate. And if these two have the potential to get people back on the field or back in the gym quicker than they otherwise could, it's so. But yeah, there's that little gray area. So they're the main ones that a lot of people use in terms of the injury department, lowering inflammation. If you go back to the other page, because the CJC, the ipamorelin.
Right, yeah, I put CJC on here, Dan. And then we definitely, I think everyone's just itching to hear more about tesamorelin and GHK. So yeah, if you can go through them, that would be amazing.
Well, the CJC, the ipamorelin, and the tesamorelin are all almost in the same sort of basket. Yeah. So yeah, the CJC 1295, that ipamorelin, the tesamorelin, right? So really, yeah, in layman's terms and in a nutshell, those peptides are designed to tell your body or tell your brain, your pituitary gland in the brain, to produce more growth hormone, right? So then you've got those three peptides, CJC, ipamorelin, tesamorelin. You put them in put them in the body. They tell the brain, make growth hormone, make growth hormone, make growth hormone. So, and because it's more so the growth hormone that has the properties that everyone talks about. So if you look here, everything under that CJC, that ipamorelin, all the dot points under that CJC, ipamorelin, they're benefits of growth hormone, not so much of the peptide. But people use the peptide to increase growth hormone secretion, and then it's the growth hormone that's good with a lot of those dot points. Very, very similar with the tesamorelin. So a lot of people will say tesamorelin has got a lot of positive feedback for burning body fat. And it's not the tesamorelin that is great for burning body fat. It's the growth hormone that's great for burning body fat. But these peptides are designed to stimulate to the brain, make growth hormone, make growth hormone, make growth hormone. So, there's peptides out there that there's ones called like kisspeptin, and then kisspeptin is a peptide designed in a male, tell the testicles, make testosterone, make testosterone, make testosterone. And then you get all the benefits associated with that. So I think again, with this stuff, I definitely can't give hard answers. Like if someone's like, is it safe for me? Is it not safe for me? Can I use it with pregnancy? There's no way you could give a hard, confident answer with that. Meaning, what I know with the peptides and how they work, their mechanism of action, again, I guess this is more an opinion because there is no actual factual data on it. I was going to say I'm not saying they're safe, but like for example, with these CJC, ipamorelin, and tesamorelin, telling the brain to make growth hormone, you're still limited by the pituitary gland. So you could take bucket loads of these peptides, and your body is not going to make an absurd amount to where it's dangerous. If that, so I'm not saying that they're safe, but you're not going to, like, if someone like had a growth hormone deficiency or needed growth hormone medically, these peptides aren't going to be enough to fill that void. Like, they're only going to take you so far. That's why, in my opinion, and I'm not saying they're safe, but the risk profile or the problems associated with like those peptides are relatively low, just because your body will still try to keep you within natural limits. And then, yeah, if we talk about the GHKCU, so even that's obviously very, very, I mean, a lot of ladies would have been using that for years anyway without sort of realizing. It isn't a lot of those skin sort of creams, helps with collagen deposition, collagen production. A lot of people report it can help with, like, the skin, reducing wrinkles. And it's also a really great way to increase copper intake because it's GHK bound to the copper, and that's why it's blue. It's blue because it's got the copper group, and that's probably been one of the more popular ones for the females because it's got a lot of those cosmetic properties with the skin, with the hair, with the reducing wrinkles and things like that. But you could look at a lot of your topical creams that you've been using for years. It wouldn't surprise me if there's already been GHK in those creams anyway. So. Yeah, I mean, these ones here are probably the most common, most popular peptides.
And guys, can I just share on the GHK? I am working on a much, much safer option for you all because I know that is a really, really big one that a lot of clients have asked me, Alex, and T about. And like, oh, fuck it. Let me just give you guys a sneak peek, right? I'm working on something. This is the first, you guys, like how much I love you guys. I've not shown a person, anybody, what I'm working on in the background, but it's just, I love you guys and I care about what you guys are putting into your body, but just a little sneak peek about, oh, it's blurry. Okay, let me hold the box properly. Vanessa has been working on a GHK face serum. And if you ask me why my skin is always flawless, I've been using this and working on this formula for about 2 years. And I'm also bringing out GHK based collagen.
Looks so good.
No, it doesn't look good. This is just label measuring and sampling. So if you can hold off and not have to like black market inject things into your body and then say to me and Alex, why am I feeling so sick? Please just hold off. Give me another couple of months and it will be accessible to my clients before it hits the market. Okay.
Yeah. And that's a good point because out of all of these peptides, the GHK is the only one that can go transdermally. So because it's, I mean, I know this is a bit technical, but based on molecular weight, GHK is the only one that's light enough and small enough that can actually penetrate the skin. Like, for example, if you see a BPC 157 cream, it's rendered useless. It's too large to actually penetrate the skin. So, GHK is the only one that can penetrate the skin. So I like that. Obviously, much more user-friendly administration method.
Readiness. I'm ready for it.
Everyone's ready. And like, I have been trialing and testing for nearly how long now, Alex? Like a year and a half, 2 years. Oh my God, longer. Like it's taken me a long time because I'm being so, and like Dan has assisted me so immensely with the product breakdowns. Like, I did not put in an additional ingredient without running it past Daniel. We all know he's the man in the industry that everyone wants to help. And we're very fortunate enough to have Daniel. I don't even know why. He just says yes to everything for me. But he just loves us and loves what our clients are about. And he can see that our community that we've created genuinely really cares about your overall health. And like, as I said at the start of this, like, what risk are you willing to pay to get your hands on a grade 1 supplement that has not even been like clinically like tested enough. And you don't really know, like, even though you might trust the person that you're purchasing it from, you don't know where they've gotten it from. And then you're injecting it into your body. That's what scares me. And that's why I've been working really hard on my new business to come. I've just I had to get over a lot of TGA regulated hurdles as well, to make sure that the product, both my products are legalized. And yeah, it's been a long time in the making, but a lot of trialing and testing on not only myself, my husband as well has seen immense benefits from it. I'm not legally allowed to tell you guys the benefits, so this is gonna have to be like, here you go, you either trust me or you don't with it. But you know, if you get me one-on-one and we're not recording, I'll tell you the benefits.
Yeah. And yeah, I just say, like, I mean, like you said, if you look at we've written BPC, TB500, GHK, it says evidence is still developing, long-term safety. Yeah. So that's why people need to be like they're responsible for their health. Like, and like there is no long-term human data on this stuff. So when people are wanting to know, is this safe? Can I use it? Is anything going to happen? You're never going to find an answer on that. And if someone gives you a hard answer on that, it's just not accurate. So yeah, I can give suggestions, opinions, advice, but yeah, there's just that have not been studied for long enough to be able to accurately give that sort of information. Like, yeah, I had a client like, oh, they're just breastfeeding. Is it safe for me to use whilst breastfeeding? Like, this is like, how can I give you, like, how can you put that responsibility on me to be confident with an answer in that, you know? So, yeah. So I wanted to get to the
GRPs. So these ones, just to confirm, guys, so no one gets confused. So these popular recovery and healing peptides, they're considered your grade ones. And I know I've shared a little bit about, so the FDA in the US, that's like our version of the TGA, so legal government pillar. So theirs is called FDA. As of the 1st of July, there's going to be 7 recovery healing peptides that will be legalized in the US and some other countries, but unfortunately not here. I don't know, like, we don't know if they're ever going to legalize it here, but considering that the US, Australia usually follows suit, but very, very behind. And then we move on. What's really quite ironic is we've got your grade 2 peptides, and probably the most popular ones that most people want to know about, Dan, is your GLP-1s. And the thing that I want to state about this is, and I'm sure a lot of you clients who are going to listen to the recording, I know there's over 100, clients going to listen to this recording. A lot of you initially came to the consultation with me and were on GLP-1s, but you actually didn't know it was a GLP-1. Like, when I said, what GLP-1 are you on? You're like, what's that? I'm on Ozempic. I'm like, well, that's a GLP-1. And this is what scares me a little bit, is that you're putting something in your body. You don't even know like what it is. Like, you're really confused. You just think, oh, I'm going to lose weight from it. So Dan, I'll let you take it from here and dig more into this GLP-1 sector.
Yeah. So this is, very, very popular. Again, like the BPC TB500, like, I'm sure there's millions of positive success stories with these, Ozempic, the Mounjaro, now the retatrutide that just passed its phase 3 clinical trial. So, really, when you draw them back, so you got the first generation, which is the Ozempic. That was the first one that came out. That's the semaglutide. That one, main way that really helps people lose weight is the suppression of appetite, and we'll get deeper into it. Then they created generation 2, which is the tirzepatide or the Mounjaro. So they added a fat burning component to the appetite suppression component. So that was the second generation. Then they've made the third generation now, this retatrutide that everyone's talking about. So it's got the first generation, the appetite suppression, plus the second generation, the fat burning component. And then they add a increased metabolism component on the third generation, which is the retatrutide. So it's got 1 + 2 + 3. which is why on paper, like the retatrutide should be the most effective versus the Mounjaro and the Ozempic. So, I mean, and they've done, like, even with the retatrutide, what was the stats? 2/3 of the group that trialed the retatrutide, so 2/3 of the group, of the study group, when they stopped retatrutide, regained 60% of the weight they lost. And I mean, you don't really have to be a rocket science to work out why that happened. Because yes, these peptides can work whilst you're using them, but they don't teach good habits, lifestyle shifts, knowledge about calories, portion control. They don't teach you anything. So the main, like, for example, the semaglutide, the Ozempic, what it will do is it'll slow down the transit time of food through the stomach. So it slows your digestion down. What does that do? Well, your leptin will stay higher, so your satiety hormone, and it limits ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, from increasing. So it basically just it delays the transit time of food through the stomach. You've got high leptin, and leptin's responsible for telling you that you're full, you're satiated, you're satisfied. And if you're satiated, full, satisfied pretty much 24/7, you're not going to really think about food, have hunger cues, want to eat. And as a result, if you put less food in your mouth, the weight will go down. That's its main mechanism of action. It's not, this is the Ozempic, the semaglutide. It's not like directly burning body fat. It is just preventing you from putting calories in your mouth. And if you do that hard enough for long enough, then that's how people can drop, 5, 10, 15, 20 kilos. But then the problem is you stop it and you haven't got this drug delaying food that you're eating. And all of a sudden your appetite comes back with a vengeance. And then you can see how the weight regained, 2/3 of the group regained 60% of the weight because their regular appetite resumed, their regular hunger signals resumed, regular food noise, and back to original eating habits. So that is the biggest problem with them. Another problem with them is because you undereat on a lot of these peptides, you generally, people are just more so concerned about losing weight versus the type of weight they're losing. So you don't, like, weight can be fat mass, lean mass, bones, organs. People primarily want to lose fat mass, but these peptides don't, because you are undereating, and you generally will undereat on proteins, amino acids, you'll also potentially lose muscle as part of that weight, which is not really what you want to lose. You more so primarily just want to use body fat. And now what they're doing is, it's crazy. This crazy. Now they're making a 4th generation after this retatrutide. So it's got the properties of number 1, number 2, number 3. Now they're adding on a growth hormone component, generation 4, to prevent the person from losing muscle tissue whilst they're under eating. So, yeah, I mean, you can see how they work. And I mean, they mainly were, because I always look, like, there's always generally a medical reason. These came about more so to treat diabetes and manage blood sugar levels, right? But then, as a lateral effect, yes, they did help treat blood sugar and diabetics, but they also laterally found, hang on, this is causing people to lose weight because they're under eating, and now it's being marketed as a weight loss peptide, but it wasn't originally designed for that. That was more like indirectly found from people using it. So yeah, interesting stuff. Again, you could, I'm sure, like, there's millions of positive success stories out there from these, but then, yeah, you don't hear about what happens to people when they eventually have to stop using, the semaglutide, the tirzepatide, the retatrutide, and yeah, so, and that's another thing as well. Like, yeah, it says it does say, like, they can cause nausea, headaches, even they can cause a lot of gut issues because, like I said, they really slow down the digestion of food, right? So you've got food sticking around in your digestive tract for much longer than it should. That can lead to a lot of fermentation, and digestive problems just because the food is taking so slow to get through your digestive tract, which, yes, is great because if it does take that long, you're not going to be hungry. You're going to be satiated all day. You're not going to eat. But then from a digestive point of view and having digestive issues, having it sitting in your stomach for so long is not great. So, yeah.
And, you know, sometimes I get some of you ladies use checking, you're like, oh, you know, my friends on like, you know, retatrutide or Mounjaro, Ozempic, whatever it is. And, you know, I'm losing 250 grams or 850 grams, whatever it might be. And, you know, she lost 2 kilos this week and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, cool. What's going to happen to your friend after that? She's going to put back on the weight. You're not. So you got to sort of weigh up, like, don't think about, I never like to think about taking something to get me a result in the moment. I like to think about, okay, if I achieve this result, am I going to be able to maintain it? Like the result that I'm going to get long term? If the answer is no, then I don't do it. If the answer is yes, then I do it. And I guess, like, you know, that's why we get asked, like, you know, Alex and I get asked all the time, like, how do you keep in shape all year round? And I'm like, okay, cool. You want to know my answer? Like, yeah, I'm qualified. I know what I'm doing. I'm educated, same with Alex. But also as well, I've also been paying Dan and Dan's team for God knows, like, I've had a coach now coaching me for over 8 years because I don't want to do my job on myself, number one. But number two, like, I don't know, I just like everything laid out for me. But I just think it would be counterproductive for me to turn around and go to Dan, oh, I want to go into shred phase. I'm going to take a GLP-1. Yeah, that's all good. Dan would probably help me out and aid me with it, right? Because he's got the experience. But at the same time, like, he'd ask me, he'd say to me, Vanessa, like, we're not going to be able to maintain that result that you get from it. So, like, at what cost? Is it worth it? And I would honestly turn around and say no. You know, I do more photo shoots than anyone else here put together. Like, there's pressure on my body all year round. And I just personally, like, unless it's for medical reasons, unless I had a proper medical barrier, I wouldn't be even going near this. And let's not forget, and I hate to say this because, you know, I have a lot of respect for our medical community, but with these GPs, they're handing out GLP-1s with no blood work because someone's going in there crying, saying I'm overweight and I don't know what to do. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Within 10 minutes, you've got a prescription in your hand. Like, come on, for fuck's sakes. Like, let's get a reality check. Like, you guys should all be so proud you're on this program and you're investing in your health the right way and the safety of your health. But at the same time, like, we had a client that came in and she started at, what was it, Alex, like nearly 200 kilos, right? Just under 200 kilos. She was allocated some medical support. But at that case, we're like, yes, you need, like, we agree, like, you need the medical support. But she enrolled in the program alongside getting that being on the medical support because she was like, I know I'm going to lose the weight just by taking it. But then I know I'm not going to be able to keep it off because I know I don't have I don't have the knowledge and the lifestyle habits in place to keep me off. And Alex, like, alongside that, and I'm pretty sure now she's been off, how much weight did that 200 kilo client lose with you? Now,
a lot. It was like 30 something.
Yeah, 30 something. That was after we'd got her, like, she'd come off the GLPs.
We've had a few clients like start on the GLPs and then, you know, like, obviously with medical advice, and, you know, they'll decide to jump off it. So, you know, they'll halve the dosages, and they'll obviously work with, you know, medical professionals in that regard, but then sort of putting in place, you know, the habits, the lifestyle, that aspect of things, and they continue to drop weight, but also we can maintain it, which is, honestly, if you're my client, this is what I say to everyone. Like, maintenance it's the most important part of it. Like, you can lose weight. Everyone, like, losing weight is so much easier than building muscle. But if you can't maintain it, well, there's no point. So, yeah.
You just have to be mindful. Like, the hardest part is, when you do stop, which you eventually need to, the appetite will come back with a vengeance.
You'll be wary of these things that are just going to happen. Yeah.
And that's the hardest part is, it's like, your appetite is going to just smack you in the face, and you've got to have all the willpower in the world to, and that's the biggest, and that's why the regain rate is so high, like, is because it doesn't teach people the habits or the nutritional information about calories, portions. So yeah.
Perfect. We've gone through, like, the next slide was the risks of the black market peptides. Like, we've gone through this, like, you know, again, like some of the major ones is like the contamination risk, the bacteria infection, you know, people, you also need to know how to inject properly as well. If you're going to do something like this, I know it sounds like silly that you need to know how to inject properly, but you know, there's some really, really, you know, bad things that can happen if you don't even know how to inject a insulin needle or anything like that.
Sorry, even one more thing. The one big risk with it is a lot of people, like, this is just what I'm finding, like, they're not great with the math on this stuff in terms of the mixing of it. So, like, you know, like, if you, like, for something like, you know, if like retatrutide, if you are unsure on the mixing amount and you get the dose wrong and get it wrong quite significantly, you could really shoot your blood sugar way too low, and that could actually potentially hospitalize you. So there is the mixing of the peptides with the correct amount of water, taking the correct dose. And if someone just accidentally gets the numbers wrong and takes too much, then it could actually be a bit of a problem. So that's why that, and
and this is where I guess Dan, when he first started, he said, like, I don't even know why this has become so big. Well, predominantly it's become so big because of social media influence. And a lot of it stemmed from the US market, right? And like, so what social media often shows is like these amazing rapid transformations, miracle fat loss, extreme physique changes, biohacking trends, influencer marketing. Like, you know, a lot of people get paid. I do ambassador work, and believe it or not, like, all those discounts that you get, I do not take a cent. Dan, back me up on this. He knows how I feel about this. I don't come to any agreements with any companies that they pay me $1 from a client purchase, because then I feel very, number one, pressured, indebted, and I want a discount because I want to help my clients, not to put an extra $1 in my pocket. And Dan knows, like, how heavily I feel about that. I do not do ambassador work in exchange for monetary value. But unfortunately, like, this is what everyone wants to be Instagram famous, but let's put other people's health at risk to put an extra $1 and be that little bit more Instagram famous, like, a little bit ridiculous to me. And then again, what is often, like, left out is the side effects, the health complications, the financial cost. I was asking Dan about a couple of weeks ago about tesamorelin, because obviously I've been studying, like, doing my studies on peptides a little bit more so I can help educate my clients as they come across with these questions. I said, fuck, Dan, tesamorelin sounds good. Yeah, I've had 2 kids. Like, you know, what are your thoughts? And he's like, oh, do you have $250 a fortnight? And I said, what do I need that for? I already fucking pay you every week. And he goes, because that's what it's going to cost you in order to get the therapeutic dosage that you're going to need. And possibly the tesamorelin would work. Possibly. And then I'm like, okay, got it. Thank you. Bye. I'm not spending $250 every 14 days in hope that this peptide might flatten my stomach a little bit more. I'm like, fuck, I'd rather just put myself in a little bit more of a deficit and train hard. Okay, thank you. Point taken. So there is a lot of financial cost. And then obviously as they've become more popular, they have become more expensive. So even GHK, it's so expensive to purchase black market. You don't even know if that's GHK, like, crazy. I guess final takeaway approach from these guys is, they're bioactive compounds. They're not harmless shortcuts. And we pretty much, you don't take the risk. Wait till we've got some classification around it and it's legalized and you can actually purchase it from trusted sources like a pharmacist, whether that ever happens here or not. And again, best practice health approach is do what we're doing now, build those foundational daily habits that are natural and safe. So let's move on to question time.
Just quickly, because if you're on that previous slide, see what you wrote at the top, full-time mum lost naturally. So it's like because I'm now getting people thinking that they require retatrutide to lose weight. I need it. I'm like, you don't need it. Like retatrutide has only come about in the past couple of years, but what about 5, 10, 15 years? People have been losing weight for the end of time. Like now people are starting to associate they need retatrutide to lose weight, which is very bad, because like I said here, this lady probably lost all of this weight before retatrutide even existed.
Yeah,
so, it's not, people are associating like, oh, I need it. Like, you don't need it. You can still lose weight. Like back in the 2000s, when they didn't have access to this stuff. They're just the traditional method, just dieting, sucked it up, dealt with it, and lost the weight.
Marie, I wish she was on this call, because she's a single mum. And she was a single mum when she came to me wanting to lose this weight. And she was like, first of all, like the all in or all nothing. Like, my God, she would kill me. She's like, would be so hard on herself if she didn't tick all the boxes. And like, one thing as a coach, like I have this philosophy, my main job is to never let you guys give up on yourselves. As much as it is to educate, but never let you guys give up on yourselves. Like, you have all come to me at one stage saying, I've had enough. I think I need a break. And I'm like, oh, hell no. This is when you're going to make the most progress. And that's what I had to consistently tell Marie. This picture of Marie, this was not taken in 2026. This was taken at the start of I think end of 2024 to start of 2025. Marie still looks like that now, today, right? And I'm sure some of you guys got to meet Marie, who came to the couple of photo shoots ago. She has maintained the weight loss, and
I can confirm. I saw her at the gym this morning.
Yeah.
Me too last week. Yeah.
He's maintained it. And that's the thing, like Lisa as well. Like Lisa, I know you've been with me for a long time. When we first met, you were so unconfident within yourself. And I said, Lisa, just trust me, whatever. Now you're in the best shape of your life and you've got 3 children. And like Lisa's husband leaves really early for work. He has his own business, comes home late. He's constantly traveling for work. Like, it is all on her. And also as well as that, like, Lisa has this amazing ability to, when she does have shit weeks, she's like really come to that understanding of, I don't need to tick every box. And I don't think Lisa's ever once turned around to me and said, oh, Vanessa, what should I take this to lose a bit of extra weight? She's like, no, Vanessa, what can we do from a nutritional or movement standpoint so I can come in a little bit tighter? And I'm like, okay, let's go here, 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 and here. So I think it's really important that we don't buy into the status of these being really like popular on the market. All right, let's move to question time, because I've got a 2:30.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone has questions. That's what, just one thing I wanted to say, because there's millions of weight loss stories before these even came about. So it's not like all of a sudden, now that they're around, people can't lose weight naturally. Like you still can. It's because people just think, oh, I need it, or I can't lose weight without it. It's crazy.
Yeah. And in some cases, like, they're warranted. As I said, like some cases, like, medically, taking a GLP-1 is warranted. Like, that's it's not even unfortunate. That's what they were initially there to support. But there's just a lot more flexibility being given to GPs and at the moment. So, you walk in there crying, like, and having a breakdown, telling them, whatever story that these women make up to get their hands on a prescription within 10 minutes, because their next door neighbor Natasha's had great success on it, so they think it's going to work for them. Like, come on, guys, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, just far out. And I'm saying this because I am literally consulting every single day, and these are the stories that I hear. My neighbor Natasha had great success on it, and so I went and got it, and now I'm sick and I can't get out of bed and I can't eat. And my libido shot to the shit. So my husband's really pissed off with me all the time. Well, no shit. What worked for Natasha ain't going to make that. Natasha didn't verify that the GLP-1 was going to work for everybody, magic. So anyways, I'll be nice now. Back to Happy Vanessa. Sorry.
There are questions? Maybe not.
Don't be shy, ladies.
Yeah, I mean, we covered most of it.
Lise, did you have any questions?
It's pretty much all covered, I think.
Yeah, and what you
Yeah.
were saying, sorry, about that, like I said, even with this stuff and all pharmaceuticals, not just these peptides, there's always certain outliers. So there is always outliers. Like, yeah, it might not be a problem for 95% of people, and then 5% of the people it is a real problem for. That's why I said people just have to understand it's their health, their body. It's also like it's their risk. You can't put the trust or rely on other people. Like it is a risk. So especially with the black market of it and how it's unregulated. So yeah.
What was I going to say? Can anyone, just on a funny note, thank you, Dan, you're amazing as always. I'm trying to stop the recording.